Assalamualaikum and very good morning all of you. Today our forum topic is about social media helping us to connect or contributing to loneliness. Do you know what social media is? Social media is a collective term for website and application that focus on communication, community-based input, interaction, content sharing, and collaboration. People use social media to stay in touch and interact with friends, family, and various community. Business use social application to market and promote their product and track customer concern. Social media has enormous traction globally. Mobile applications make this platform easily accessible. Some popular examples of general social media platforms including Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Before we start our forum discussion, I would like to introduce our panelists today. So the first panelist is Mrs. Nurul as our Minister of Communication and Multimedia. Next to her, our beautiful panel for today is Miss Nurin Jazlina, who is student from University Kebangsaan Malaysia. The third panel is Sarah IRISHA, who is a content moderator. Have Mrs. YUHANIS Sabrina, counselor from University Malaya as the fourth panel, and the last but not least is Madam Hadi ARISSYA. To start off, as a Minister of Communication and Multimedia, in what perspective do you see the social media works helping us to connect or contributing to loneliness, and do you think that social media also has negative effect?
Okay, thank you to our MC today, NURMAISARAH. Right, to start off, based on Statista, I start with statistic information. As of January 2021, 86% of people in Malaysia use social media. It was a rise of 24% from 2016, when social media users accounted for only 62% of Malaysia's entire population. As a youth myself, I cannot deny that social media does give us a lot of benefits nowadays in all ways possible, regardless of the benefits to education as well as the world of work. Although social media has its benefit, it has also contributed to an individual's addiction or obsession, which has subsequently become a heated issue or of debate. In my opinion, I would say social media is contributing to loneliness. Feeling lonely, often known as loneliness, is an unpleasant emotional state defined by inconsistency in one's desired and experienced degrees of social contact. There have been two opposing views about social media use disorder and loneliness to date. One view argues that time spent online replaces time spent offline, which is with friends, affecting the quality of friendship. This so-called displacement hypothesis concludes that social media use increases the feeling of loneliness. The studies among Lebanese adults on social media disorder and problematic internet use have found that they are associated with psychology distress, social isolation, alexithymia, which is defined as the lack of cognitive processing of emotion, accompanied by a weakened capability to perceive and express feelings, and loneliness. This really shows that social media is contributing to one's loneliness, especially among who really depends their life on social media. Individuals with self-perceived social inability, according to Kaplan's concepts, are more likely to experience negative mood states like loneliness. These people prefer to communicate online and utilize online social communication as an escape from their bad mood, which encourages them to use the internet more. According to studies, people who spend too much time on the internet spend less time engaging with others in person, which leads to sadness and loneliness. Similarly, people who are lonely turn to the internet for emotional support. Loneliness is associated with numerous of mental health issues, not just social media illness. Loneliness has been shown to cause stress, which in turn promotes the illusion of social rejection. Furthermore, loneliness has been associated with poor mental health, with loneliness behaving as a risk factor for developing depressive symptoms. Loneliness, on the other hand, predicted distress. There was a strong correlation between loneliness and fearful feelings, according to the research. So, all right. So as for the second question, you asked for the negative effects. These are some negative effects of social media towards society, I would say. Social media addiction refers to a society's use and dependence on social media that goes beyond the typical limitation to its use. Of its use. In other words, it refers to an inability to control its use, which in turn may have negative effects on their mental well-being. If a person has gotten addicted to and preoccupied with social media, there are several signs to look for. As for example, I could give that frustration, anger, and woozy thought if a person is unable to surf the internet. This is actually about one's worry and how he or she feels compelled to browse social media sites on a regular basis. They also prefer to spend time on social media rather than socializing with friends or family members on numerous instances. They are also willing to give up other, more productive interests in order to focus on social media. They have gotten hooked with the gadget in their hands as a result of the social media obsession, making them unable to engage with people and finally becoming introvert. This situation impact not just young people and adults, but also youngsters who are affected by the same issue. If you dig a little deeper, you'll find that if you use social media all the time, you're also dealing with nerve difficulties. In a study conducted in different nations, NORESHAM and Fazliyatun, in 2014, discovered an 85% increase in youngsters being short or long-sighted as a result of the light emitted by electronics. Also, while using electronics to surf social media, children and teenagers get caught up in glare or astigmatism, which cause a shift in their focus and leads to incorrect body posture. Long periods of time spent playing a device in a lying down position might cause eyesight and glare. This is due to the fact that it an unsatisfactory posture. Some nerve in the eye do not perform efficiently. This should be taken seriously because according to the WHO, one child is reported blind every 5 seconds and over 7 million people are blind each year. As a result, Malaysians who are sensitive and concerned about themselves, their family and their nation, also their country, should be prioritize their senses well-being. To minimize the rate of chronic diseases in Malaysia, which are beginning to flood into the country, the addiction to social media must be tackled. So I think this is all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mrs. Izzah, for your answer that has successfully clarified that social media help to contribute to loneliness and negative effect about social media. Now, I would like to ask the second question to Ms. Nurin Jazlina, who is a university student, as the second panel for this forum discussion. Do you think that social media can be a platform to connect people around the world?
Right. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. First of all, thank you for inviting me to join today's discussion. I'm so glad to be one of the guests here. And also thank you for your question, Ms. Maisarah. My view on this topic is that social media is undeniably a perfect platform to expand our social circle. There are a lot of social media providing the features such as Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and Twitter. With the use of these advanced tools, one may easily meet someone who also shares the same interests, which could be a starting point for a great friendship. Based on a research study by Amanda Lehart in 2015, nearly two-thirds, 64% of teens who have made a new friend online say they have made new friends on a social media platform. A connection can be established when people with mutual interests from other countries gather at any social media platform. For example, hashtag book talk is a sub-community of on the app TikTok focused on books and literature. The hashtag has been used by billions of views and climbing from users across the world sharing their favorite books. Readers make videos reviewing, discussing, and recommending about the books they've read. Creators tend to focus on young adult fiction, young adult fantasy, and romance novels. For those who can decide what to read next, hashtag book talk is a place to go. From the hashtag, they can search for the book that they want to read to get reviews from other people who have read. On top of that, they can also talk about the authors they admire, creating scenarios from books and write their reviews or thoughts after reading the book. From their reading, they can recommend the book that they feel is interesting and exchange ideas with other readers. From that, it can strengthen the relationship between readers all around the world. Indirectly, they make new friends and started to share about their cultures, beliefs, and languages. In short, from my own personal opinion, it has proven that social media is indeed a great platform to connect people around the world. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Miss Nurin Jazlina, for your response. It is great to know about your view on this topic. Miss Nurin Jazlina, I think the audience and I are actually curious to know your opinion on whether digital business via social media can help student entrepreneur to connect with customer or not.
Thank you for your question. It's a great question actually. According to a research study by lecturers of the School of Communication of University Science Malaysia in 2015, Malaysia is ranked among the highest users of social media in the Asia Pacific region. The same study indicated that Malaysians spend an average of 3.3 hours on social media each day, and it is third highest in the region. The extensive use of social media can open the opportunities for student entrepreneurs to sell their products and to interact or connect with thousands of customers. The emergence of social media as a medium to connect customers to the digital business. In the world of technology today, the usage of social media in digital business has become so popular to market products, which is through digital marketing. For example, usage of social media as a part of a fashion brand's content marketing strategy. Social media gives brands a chance to offer tips and style advice to help customers curate their wardrobes and get a clear idea on what's on trending. Creative and fun video will result in customers feeling connected to brands and thus attracting the customers to buy the products offered. The customers will view, read, and share the information of the product via social media. As a result, the usage of digital marketing via social media definitely triggers a higher sales, especially in this pandemic, since people spend more time on social media. Moreover, the cost of digital marketing is much more affordable for student entrepreneurs since they don't have to set up booths and pay. As the result of social media usage in business, student entrepreneurs have strength to expand the marketing of their products and services to the customers beyond boundaries. Therefore, it is proven that digital business via social media has a significant role to help connect the student entrepreneurs and customers. That's all from me. Thank you.
For the next round, I would like to request Ms. Sarah IRISHA, a content moderator, to explain more about how social media can influence people in a positive way.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The positive effects of social media are plentiful. According to a Harvard study, routine social media use is positively associated with social well-being, self-rated health, and mental health. We just need to be mindful users and keep a healthy perspective about social media's role in our lives. Then we can use it to inspire, educate, show empathy, and become better communicators. What social media has done to people, especially the younger generation, is they are more confident in voicing out their opinion. People of all ages can use social media to develop a platform with a larger audience than that have in any other setting. This can help individuals build confidence, gain new communication skills, and quickly spread positive and important messages. Take TikTok, for example. Teens and young adults have successfully grown enormous platforms where their messages reach thousands or even millions of people regularly. Interestingly, a study found that 55% of young people regularly post about their opinions on social media, while a staggering 71% said that they feel more confident now than ever posting about causes they are passionate about. Following the most recent case in Malaysia, a 70-year-old girl made a simple video on TikTok and posted on Twitter in which she voiced concern about her teacher's rape jokes. This has gotten attention from many people, including artists, influencers, and even ministers. After that, many people have united to stop rape jokes and educate others about how it should not be romanticized in school where it's supposed to be a safer place for children. Now we can see how social media can spread positive influence so widely and effectively. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for your explanation. I honestly really like the idea about how social media can influence people to be more confident to deliver their information. However, unfortunately, there is always a dark side to social media where it happens to spread positivity. Misinformation can influence users, manipulating them for political or economic reasons. How can you spot fake news and what can you do to combat it? Ms. Sarah, will you provide a comprehensive view of the subject to address the burgeoning issue?
Such a great question. The term misinformation is defined as false or inaccurate information that may be distributed with the intent to deceive those who read it. Information or opinions that you disagree with may not necessarily constitute misinformation, or opinions that you disagree with may not necessarily constitute information. While the term fake news is often used as pejorative in journalism today, this is a dishonest use of the term indeed. If you like, if you feel like you're engaging with fake news or notice others doing so, here are the steps that will help you make a difference. First thing you can do is report to the big offenders. The longer users, group, or pages are allowed to spread fake news, the more people they will mislead. Once you have verified that a story is fake news, take a zero tolerance approach. Many social media platforms will allow you to report inappropriate contents or accounts. If it hasn't yet been removed, report the original post. You will usually find this in the reporting options. It also worth doing the same to the actual user, group, or page sharing the content. You can do this by visiting their account page. Next step is you need to warn others that they might be engaging with the fake news. When it comes to fighting back against fake news, it's essential to have others too. Since social media is fast-paced, it's easy for users to get caught up in things without taking a moment to think. As such, people you follow might be engaging with fake news without realizing it. If you see someone else engaging with fake news, send them a private message. Explain that you think that they have shared misleading stories unintentionally. Once you have done this, report the original post. Lastly, the least you can do to avoid it is try not to engage with the original post at all. Social media rewards popular posts, including misleading content in some cases. If you leave a comment on a fake news post, you risk boosting it in others people's feeds. And while you might have acted in good faith, your comment might be swamped if lots of other people also leave one. Instead, do your best not to engage with the original post so that it isn't boosted by the platform's algorithm. That's all from me.
Thank you, Ms. Sarah, for your explanation. How about you, Miss Yuhani? Can you give your opinion about how social media can contribute to loneliness?
Thank you, Ms. Maisara, for the question. I believe that most people easy to connect with each other through social media. But social media also can bring bad effects, especially to mental health. Basically, I do not agree with this notion entirely. For your information, social media also brings negative effects to some people. This is because, based on my readings on the article by Sherry Amenstein in the recent survey sponsored by the Cigna Health Insurance Company, 46% of respondents reported sometimes or always feeling alone. Social media play a big role on this high loneliness because the result of loneliness depends on how people interact with the internet using applications like Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, and other similar apps. These social media apps exactly are used by many people to keep in touch with friends and forge offline connections in our daily life, especially during this COVID-19 pandemic. According to the survey, if people spending hours every day using social media mainly as a substitute for real connection as face-to-face connection, the feelings of loneliness of that people will likely become worsened. Besides, according to the article written by Jeremy Noble, MD and PH on Harvard Health Blog, it is definitely true that social media makes some people feel lonely and also depressed such that eating makes you fat. Social media Social media use is fine in moderation, but an excessive intake of social media may be bad for the health too. The latest research suggests that limiting social media use to 30 minutes a day may lead to a significant improvement in well-being, according to University of Pennsylvania study. The research found that students who limited their use of Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat to 30 minutes a day for 3 weeks, their loneliness and depression was decreasing as compared to a control group that made no changes to their social media diet. When the students self-monitored their time on social media, the side effect was increased self-monitoring and the student felt happier than before. Hence, based on the list of evidence that I have stated here, which are based on the research studies and survey, I believe that social media also can contribute to loneliness, which brings bad effects to some people, which contradictory to connect people that has been proven. Thank you.
In your opinion, it is true that mostly teenagers and young adults suffer loneliness because of social media?
Thank you again, Ms. Maisara, for the question. I strongly believe that mostly the teenagers or young adults are affected by the social media that contribute to loneliness. Based on Pew Research Center study on the Empowerment Space website, more than 90% of teens use social media daily. 81% of these teens use social media to connect with friends, and one-fifth of teen social media users spend 4 or more hours on social media each day, not include amount of that teens spend on video games, texting, and other digital technology. Studies found that nowadays, teens have higher scores of loneliness. It is because the lack of in-person interaction and the over usage of social media, video games, and other digital technology can make kids feel disconnected and isolated, which cause feelings of loneliness. Social media can be dangerous if not used correctly. Other than that, based on article at SYIKRI website, demographically it seems young adults with heavy use of social media platforms have experiencing social anxiety, according to a 2017 study. Young adults generally used to compare their life with other people as if everyone else has a better life, smarter, funnier, more interesting, and have more friends by depending on the social media life only. Furthermore, the study's researchers also found that it is not just young adults affected by the social media loneliness problem. It also can be adults that addicted with their social media routines and feeling unable to discover new ways to find and foster friendships offline. Hence, based on the aforementioned evidence, it clearly shows that mostly the teenagers and young adults suffered loneliness because of social media. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Miss Yuhani Sabrina, for your response. And now I would like to ask Mrs. Ani Arisha, as one of the parents here today, to elaborate more about the benefits of social media between parent and the children.
Thank you, Ms. Moderator NURMAISARAH, for your question. I believe all parents agree with me as social media can help you as parents to connect with their children as because social media make it easier to stay in touch wherever you are. This is because social media can make you keep in touch with your loved ones who live further away. All it takes is just a few seconds on our phones to bring us together. We can experience an exchange of regular updates with family by sharing photos, videos, and messages. For example, the parents can share their regular life and condition to their children through WhatsApp. Therefore, the children will be updated and it will make it easier for the children as they do not have to go visit the parents every day to check up on the condition of the parents as they are also at the same time having their busy life with work. Most teenagers or adults today usually share their happiness traveling around the city through Instagram. Hence, the parents can download Instagram to see how their children are enjoying their life with their friends and can reduce the parents' worries as they usually whether their children are happy or not. Next, the parents can also understand their children better. Many teenagers today find that they are more comfortable communicating to themselves over social media than communicating face to face or over the phone. They prefer to stay online and talk about their struggle in work or any relationship they are facing. With accurate instruction on the use of social media, parents can try to understand their children better. Therefore, this will help to improve the communication within the parents and the children in the family. This will also lead to a better understanding among family members and stronger family ties. Other than that, social media allows parents to pause and paraphrase before responding. Often, parents speak and react before they have the time to think things carefully and lead to damage to their child's feeling. But by using social media, parents can think carefully about what they want to say before typing out the message and sending it across to their children. Taking the time to type our messages instead of giving it an expected response allows parents to be able to relate more to what their child is saying and show respect for his or her views. Lastly, I would like to conclude my point for the question asked. Social media helps a lot to connect parents to their children as parents and the child will always keep in touch with each other and parents can understand the child better by trying to use social media. Thank you.
Thank you for the brilliant answer. Mrs. Hani Arisha, last question from me today. I would like to ask, is there any reference that we can refer to support your point that social media helps parents and young children to have a stronger tie?
What a genius, dear What a genius question, dear Miss Moderator Nurmaisarah. And yes, according to Hertlin's multi-theoretical model, the influences related to social media features of accessibility, acceptability, and accommodation can change the family structure, such as rules, roles, and boundaries, and the one related to the family lifestyle, such as new ways of communicating and new rituals. These are said to be interconnected and interdependent. Thus, due to the spread of new ways of communicating, this can bring with reference to the functionality and habits of the family. Parents can have mixed feelings and countless perceptions about their impact on relationships and communications with their children. Indeed, ICTs and social media use can provide positive results in terms of family cohesion, adaptability, and open communications, and can also have a positive impact on family relationships too. This action can be proved by using social media. It can allow family members to keep in touch, make plans in real time, ensure children's safety as they allow communications in emergency situations, strengthen family ties, encourage parent-child interaction, and promotes facility discussions. Moreover, ICTs and social media use could increasingly ensure security conditions as they help parents in communicating with their children at any time, tracking their movements in physical and online spaces. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you for the great explanation, Mrs. Hani Arisha. Actually, there are lots more questions and answers that I want to share in this forum, but we are running out of time. In conclusion, social media has changed our life so much. Our life became more convenient because social media was a very useful tool for us in the 22nd century. It could help to improve our life. However, we have to be aware of how we use them. If we could use social media smartly, having social media will become a good change for us. Thank you for our panelists and audience today for being willing to answer and share your opinion on this topic. Hope we can meet again soon. Thank you.